My name is Gabrielle Safir. I'm a Western storyteller, artist, and filmmaker. And while I have lived around the world, I am now living on this incredible North American continent. I started making videos when I lived in the countryside, but for over a year now, I have been living and traveling full-time across the continent in my Volvo station wagon with my partner Noel and our 2 cats. It was a long, intuitive journey that led me to leave what was, at one point, a dream home and life for me in the country, to leave it all for this life, the life of a nomad, and living in the wild unknown. It was one of the biggest leaps of faith I have ever intentionally made, and it has led to one of the most transformational chapters of my life. When we set off for this adventure, we intentionally chose to start off in our station wagon because we wanted to challenge ourselves to live as minimalistically as possible. And it has been so amazing to see, when you strip life down to the essentials, what it is that you really need and what's truly important. And while I think that we thought at some point we'd want a van, we're a year in and we're still really happy in our little station wagon that we've named Luna. There are more reasons as to why I'm doing this than I could possibly put into words here. But what I can say is that being close to nature is one of them. The earth, the environment, and natural rhythms, cycles, and wisdom are some of the most important aspects of life to me. Also, as it has turned out, this journey has been about much deeper growth and remembrance than I could have imagined, including helping me to really understand in my body what it means to find home and belonging within myself. And last but not least, freedom. The mindset that makes this lifestyle work has had a lot to teach me. And while it's been one of the hardest things, it's also one of the most rewarding. So, if you're new, this story picks up after we took a break from road life and house sat for some dear friends of ours in Austin, Texas for a month. This is us packing up to get back on the road. So this is all of our stuff. We've already taken a few things out that were here. But yeah, if anybody has ever wondered, like, oh my God, how much stuff do you guys have? That's all of it. And I definitely have a lot more stuff than Noel because I have all of my camera equipment. Oh, and we don't normally keep the Xbox with us. Our time here was very transformative and a completely different pace than what we were used to, which brought us both to a lot of questions, such as what other adventures do you want to have in this life? Everything. Oh. 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 Thank you. Yeah. All right, we're good to go. The day that we left, we really had no idea what was coming next. All we knew is that we were headed to Santa Fe, New Mexico. And after that, we trusted that the rest would reveal itself. We're having this like epic exit from the house, and the whole car smells like cat poop.
I mean, that is kind of our life.
Oh my God. We barely went like 5 minutes down the road. We had to get gas, but we're also need to scoop the cat poop. I opened the back door and a jar of coconut oil just fell out and smashed on the ground. Nothing like scooping your cat's poop from your car at a gas station. Oh, guys, are you just so excited? We're on our way. Where are we going?
I don't know.
So Lil is out and about as usual, and Bubba is burrowed as usual. Still have another 9 hours to go. Perfect. So, little update from the road. I just got a text message from our dear friends, other friends who was gonna have us house sit for the month of September. And I just had to tell them, thank you so much, but we're moving on to the next thing. Because it really does feel like whatever is next is calling us. And it's wild because I don't know what that is. I really don't know what that is. But I don't know, I think I feel really proud right now because it would have been so easy to accept that offer. And I feel like that this journey that we're on, the lesson again and again and again, to do what is comfortable, to do what is the super safe, secure thing, comes at a massive compromise. A little bit of background, I have spent most of my life, I didn't even really realize that I was doing it, but I was quite literally constantly trying to keep myself safe and secure by choosing and or chasing situations that were just ideas of what I thought was safe and secure. And I think that's what's so interesting is like the things that we think are safe and secure, or the thing that is going to create that safety and security within us is just an idea. Like having a constant home. We're coming out of 4 years of a living situation where it was so comfortable, but there were some aspects of that living situation that resulted in pretty extreme nervous system dysregulation for 4 years. And I had no idea how that affected my mind, affected my emotions, affected my whole character, my whole way of moving in the world and relating to the world. I mean, it's just like I'm starting to see this whole adventure of being on the road. It's not just about the things that are super obvious that are really appealing about this lifestyle. It wasn't just about the minimalism. It wasn't just about looking to alternative ways of living because a lot of the conventional ways of living just seem mad in this increasingly mad world. You know, it just wasn't about, you know, adventure and, you know, travel and stuff like that. It's become so much more. It's like a pilgrimage, and at least in my own personal journey, being on the road, living this way, is exposing me to a lot of different situations and circumstances and opportunities, amazingly, where we just have the opportunity to be somewhere in a particular way that's like really comfortable. That would like, oh my god, a house sit for another month and I don't have to worry about, you know, like being on the road and paying money. But it has been so healing to my system to continuously be confronted with a situation where I would normally, in the past, I would have chosen it. I would have said, yes, that sounds so comforting. That's so safe. And compromised where my gut was calling me, for not to sound cheesy, but compromised my destiny. Since we've gotten on the road, something greater has just constantly been calling to us. I'm starting to understand that that greater thing is not some destination, but being in the process of the experience. And to have the opportunity to again and again and again and again choose what feels right, even if it's hard, because it's continuously showing me that I can trust me and that I can show up for me. You don't have to go live on the road to have this lesson, to have this healing. It's simply a matter of just becoming aware that that's what you do. And looking at your life and asking yourself, where do I compromise to stay safe, to stay comfortable, and to recognize that that's keeping you from your... I don't even have a word for it, and I don't want to use a word for it because all of us have a different way of saying what that is. Any sort of word sort of kind of carries particular connotations for people, and I don't want to cut them off from that. For whatever that, like, life force, energy, destiny, calling, purpose, higher self, whatever it is, God is for you. Like, we always know, and that's what's so hard. Whether it's a job or a relationship or a friendship or just being a people pleaser, I don't know what it is. It's different for everyone. Oh my God. I interrupt this philosophical discussion to say we are just now entering into a place called Glasscock. Oh boy. And therein lies the dichotomy of my personality, talking about these like deep things and then Glasscock.
Tired? Were you taking a nap? Oh, we got a Lil too. Hello. It's a kitty cat cuddle pie in the car.
Wow. I didn't realize how much...
Missed the mountains.
Missed the mountains, but just how off kilter I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we're here, I'm like, oh my God. Trees. And it's 66 degrees.
There's no cars.
It felt so good to be back in the mountains and back to living on the road. Overall, I was feeling a mixture of excitement and also uncertainty because we didn't know what was going to come next. But that's the thing about the road. You learn not only to accept that, but to embrace it as well. Because nothing in life, no matter how you're living, is certain. I feel like I remember who I really am, what's really true and important in this life when I'm in and close to wild places. And the earth always offers me a source of endless inspiration for living, creativity, and growth. I spent a lot of time with these mountains, and to see them again as the seasons were changing was like catching up with an old friend and discovering what was new. Where we were staying in the mountains, the elevation is 10,350 feet, or 3,154 meters. And so it starts to get cold here in the autumn much sooner than down in the valleys. And while these changes are so subtle, they're immensely magical to witness. And I just felt so grateful to be here for this moment in time.
We don't have anything. Hi, pretty bird. Oh my god.
Bunny?
Oh, thank you.
Wow. Oh, it's so good. We ended up spending most of the month of September in Santa Fe and the Santa Fe Mountains. If you watched my last video, you know we were facing a lot of questions about our future. Was living on the road still working for us? What else do we want to do with our life? What other things do we want to learn? And quite honestly, can we even afford to keep going on the road? We had only planned on being in Santa Fe for only about a week, but the more options and considerations that we put on the table, the more time and space we found we needed to research and process all of them. Creating your future is always an interesting combination of both excitement and inspiration, but also a bit of overwhelm and uncertainty. And I know that that's what we were both feeling. We had a lot of days of working all day and getting back to the mountains late at night and making dinner in the dark and sometimes in the rain. So today is going to be a day of full-on editing at a cafe to use Wi-Fi. So it's just a pretty boring day, but that's what we're going to be doing. As the days passed, I could feel the beginnings of a deeper cold start to creep into the air more and more. The leaves changed more rapidly, and the nighttime temperatures got colder and colder. And honestly, I felt myself craving wanting to just slow down with it, but also a level of pressure. Time was ticking.
Another 10-hour day. So Noel needs a haircut, so we're gonna give him a haircut. He's sitting on a rock. It's the best we can do.
All of our friends and family's question to us was, how is it being back on the road? And the answer was what road life always is, a mixed bag. We love being close to nature. We love the freedom. We love the feeling of self-reliance that it cultivates, the variety of life, and the deeper inner journey of both challenge and incredible growth that it facilitates. And it's also very challenging in a lot of ways, especially as it gets colder. There were some hard things about these weeks, including that we had our first experience where we felt unsafe. It was the weekend, and one night after we had gone to bed, I heard a car pull up very close to ours. I peered out the window and saw that this car was literally right next to us, which was really odd since there was absolutely no reason to be. Something felt really off. I could see inside of their car, and could tell that they were most likely doing drugs for a number of reasons. We didn't know what to do for a bit because we couldn't get out to move our car without attracting their attention. But finally, I just decided we needed to risk it, so we packed up as quickly as we could and moved in the middle of the night. While we were moving, one of them actually got out of the car, but they thankfully just left us alone, and we safely got to another spot. But during the situation, we realized that there was definitely some problems with our nighttime setup and that we needed to rearrange things in case we ever needed to have an easy getaway in the future. Then, the next day, after spending a day in town,
Oh my god.
we discovered someone had stolen our camping chairs when we returned to our spot.
Man,
Yep.
who does that? Like, this is an area I never would think.
Oh, but they left the table. But it sucks.
Damn.
And last but not least, for the first time since getting on the road, we locked ourselves out of the car. I was filming when it happened, and this was the very moment we realized the mistake.
What? What? I thought I unlocked it. Oh. How? I had no idea. I thought I was unlocking it.
I do have AAA, but up in the mountains, I didn't have enough cell service to make a call to get help. After freaking out a little bit after I couldn't get any calls to go through to get help, I decided to try to send my mom a text message to ask her to call AAA for me and gave her our location. Luckily, that message went through and she was able to call AAA on my behalf. And so, luckily, all we had to do was wait for the locksmith.
Well, we're back in the car. We've got our jackets now. We're sitting in the sun. And first order of business was making coffee, even though it's like past noon already. Well, it was bound to happen to us at some point. For being on the road for basically a year, it's not that bad. The nicest guy with AAA came. Thank God it didn't rain. I asked him, I was like, how many locked out of your car situations do you guys respond to on a daily basis? And he was like, oh, a lot. It made me feel a little bit better. But it is now past noon and it's very cold and cloudy and feel a little disoriented now about how to approach the day. Oh, it's windy now. We are going into town to do some errands. Oh, Lil! Every single time we start getting going, Lil takes a crap.
Without fail.
Should we pull over? Right here. Oh, God. What's it like traveling with cats? Well, every once in a while, they take a poo on the go. And we're off again. It doesn't work.
Cashier number 1, please.
All right, done. Give me a coupon. That's dangerous.
Wow.
We need to get the cats in their backpack,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna work here at this cafe for a few hours.
So it was now the 23rd of September, and we needed to make a decision. To be honest, we still didn't know what we wanted to do, and if anything, we were maybe a little more overwhelmed because of how many different aspects of life we were weighing. What we did know is that we had hit a point with our finances that meant that the longer we put off making a decision and using our money just for living expenses, the less options we would have, like buying a rig or getting settled somewhere or building a tiny home. So we had to decide, did we want to stay on the road, or was it time to jump into a completely different chapter? And answering that wasn't simple. What was clear was that rent was insanely high everywhere we would consider even being for the short term. And getting into a situation where we would both have to work full time just to pay the bills wasn't something we wanted to do. Throughout this experience, it just felt like the world has been getting increasingly out of balance. And it is so overwhelming to feel like just simply having enough to live, to live well, to live healthily and more freely, is just more and more hard to access. So even though we didn't have the clarity we had hoped to have at the end of this time, we decided it was time to leave Santa Fe and just give ourselves some space to see where some of the puzzle pieces of our life would fall.
Every time, Lil, I want to take a video and you just come running up. It's so cute.
And so we left that night and made our way north.
Hey, little buddy. Oh, he's okay. Oh, thank God. Oh, there he goes. Oh. Should I go breakfast?
The next day, we found ourselves witnessing something really amazing.
The great tarantula migration.
For love.
For love. Ah!
Well, technically it's not a migration, but every year between September and October, the desert tarantulas leave their burrows in search of a mate. And out on the mesa, they're everywhere, including the roads. Just driving down this road from camp, we must have seen at least 20 of them, and we were both very distressed by the idea of them getting hit by cars.
Are other people aware? Like, they gotta know.
So we spent some time that morning helping the ones we could find get safely across the road.
Careful, okay, careful.
You're just a young one. Look at you. Hurry up. Hurry up, buddy. Like, why isn't it more of a thing to, like, protect and witness the tarantulas? Did you find it?
I found it.
Let me see.
There's a geological benchmark over here
Oh.
that says like the altitude, and we're at 7,009 feet, just right there.
Let me see it.
Oh, it's just a little container, and then it has logs.
A little treasure hunt.
Little treasure hunt.
Look at that walk. Oh my God. Later that day, we went into town, did some work, headed to our storage unit to get some warmer fall clothes, and then continued north for the next stage of our journey and where our adventure continues. Thank you so much for watching. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that you are here. I'll see you next week. Sending my love.